North East and Tees Valley Council chiefs have been in discussions over the potential move into Tier 3 restrictions, as the growing infection rates throughout the region have become a cause for concern. Stricter measures would include the closure of venues, a ban on all household mixing and greater travel restrictions if the region moves into a very high level.
I think it's not at all inconceivable if the government decides to stay with the tiers as opposed to what they must inevitably be debating at the present time, a national lockdown. If they didn't do that, then yes, I do think that the North East would go into a Tier 3, and it wouldn't be more than likely, and I cannot be definitive, but more than likely not a question of if, but a question of when.
As talks of Tier 3 restrictions continue throughout the region, what should we look out for in order to curb the spread of the virus?
Where one has to look at, if they stayed in the tiering situation and whether you go from Tier 2 to Tier 3, would be what is the infection rate in the over 65-year-olds? And that's a concern because people who are over the age of 65, and obviously a lot of them unfortunately have what we call comorbidities, which is other health problems such as, kidney problems, chronic obstructive pulmonary problems and so on, which makes it such that if you get the virus, it can be more significant. And also, of course, what about the admissions to hospitals? How many admissions are there to hospitals? How many of those admissions, unfortunately, sadly, have to go on to ventilators? Those are the sort of very important aspects that have to be looked at. So that's the situation, but as we move on, it maybe is almost an inevitability that if we don't go into a national lockdown, that Tier 3 would be forthcoming.